Introductions for one. If you don't know me, I'm Maurice Manus. I'm your current chairman for the Motorcycle Safety Coalition. And we're going to go around the room here and then we'll go down the list online for introductions.
Crystal O'Rear. I work here at Texas A&M Transportation Institute. I'm in charge, or one of the people on the Unlicensed to Ride project.
Laura Higgins, also here at TTI.
Francisco Herrera, flight instructor and former riding instructor. I'm here as a guest. Good morning.
Spitfire, TCOCNI Motorcycle Safety and Awareness.
Kathy Brooks, TTI.
Stephanie Ferguson, also TTI, and help with the communication aspects for this group.
A whole lot. A whole lot of help.
Here we start.
Oh my, okay. And Colby's here now, so we can get started officially. Trouble has arrived. Colby's arrived, and so.
Just so we know, I don't believe the presentation is showing on the Teams.
No.
Not showing on Teams.
Okay. Thank you for letting us know that. We should have asked that question too.
It's everyone here in the room, and I don't know if you want to go down your list down the side or just guests introducing themselves, or
You
you
can.
want me to call them out?
You can call them out.
Randy? You're still muted. Well, just give us another big wave and you can chat in what you any other introduction, and we'll let anybody else know. Thank you for joining us. Miss Savannah.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Savannah Bernal, and I'm the Injury Prevention Coordinator at Dallasville Medical Center in El Paso, Texas.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Matt.
Hey folks, good morning. My name is Matt. I'm the Legislative Director at the Office of State Representative Ryan Guillen, here at Texas House of Representatives.
Thank you, sir. Harry? Harry? If I'm saying that right?
Ari or Ari?
Ari? Oh, you can't hear anyone? Well, we're talking to you. Sorry you can't hear us. We're not on mute, right? Everybody else is hearing me, so.
You might want to jump off and jump back in again, or check your settings for your
Audio.
speakers. Up at the top, check your audio what is it, the three dots?
The menu top right, usually, 3 dots, connections. We're gonna move, oh, Randy.
Hey, I figured it out. I'm off mute now. My name is Randy Simpson of Blue Knights, Texas 1.
Excellent, thank you, sir. Jeff Alford.
Jeff Alford, Total Rider Motorcycle Safety Schools of Texas, and TDLR Advisory Board member.
Thank you, sir.
Helps I can just go down the list.
Yeah, from here.
Bernie Garza, are you there with us? Bernie?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out my mic here, but yeah, this is Bernie Garza. I'm from McAllen, Texas. Currently an instructor with Desperado Harley Davidson.
Thank you, Bernie. Chris Sharman?
I'm here.
Howdy, Chris.
I'm with the Sherry Matthews group.
Perfect.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right.
What about Jeff Alford? Jeff.
I can be here again if you need me. I'm big enough to be 2 people, so.
What about Joe Morris?
Joel Morris, Ride Academy Manager at Stubbs and San Jacinto Harley here in Houston.
Well, do we have Joe Morris here as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, Joe Morris, Rig Riders MC, COCNI Region 3 Texas Defender.
Okay, Joe. Hi, Joe. And what about Josh Kane?
Hi, this is Josh. I'm a rider coach from the and I'm a member of one of the Motorcycle Safety Coalition's subgroups on alcohol awareness.
Thank you, Josh. What about Jude? Do we have Jude on the call?
Yeah, I'm here. Jude Scheck-Snyder, old retired guy. Glad so many people are attending today.
Thanks, Jude. What about Luis? Or Lewis?
Hi, this is Louise, and I'm just a rider coach from Houston, Texas.
Thank you for joining us today. Do we have Madison Marquise as well?
Hi, yep, I'm Madison. I am the e-course specialist for MSF, and I'm in San Antonio.
Thank you for joining us, Madison. Matt, I'm so sorry, but I'm not going to try to butcher your last name. But do we have Matt here?
Yeah, Matt.
Oh, we already did Matt?
Yeah, that's me.
What about
Steven.
Mike Crane?
Good morning, Mike Crane. I'm a new sponsor in East Texas. We're called E-Tex Motorsports Training.
Thank you for joining us, Mike. What about Nina Saint? Nina, sorry.
Yes, good morning. This is Nina Saint. I work with driver education schools on motorcycle awareness.
Thank you, Nina. What about Norman Garza?
Howdy, man. Good morning, everybody. My name is Norman Garza. I work on the government relations team for the A&M system as a support to the Texas A&M Transportation Institute, or TTI. Over.
Thank you for joining us, Norman. And then last but not least, do we have Randy Simpson on?
Yes, ma'am. Randy Simpson, Blue Knights, Texas 1 out of Fort Worth, Texas.
And then I think we had a couple individuals join in after this list. Did we miss anybody?
Leslie?
Leslie says has no mic.
Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you.
Stephen.
There's Stephen Woodward.
Yeah. And Janice.
Hello, Stephen Woodard, Texas Department of Public Safety, the Houston region.
Awesome. Welcome. And I think, Shanesty, did we hear from you?
No, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. My name is Shanesty Villanueva. I work for the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation, and I am one of the team leads over the motorcycle and safety program. It's good to be here.
Thank you, ma'am.
Anybody else that we may have missed, or as the list jumped around on us? Anyone?
Go through this.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Announcements this morning. The biggest headline here is the NHTSA Motorcycle Safety Program Assessment was canceled by TxDOT. So this is kind of take my hat off here and just speak as Maurice, the motorcyclist. Kind of disappointing news to find out that I guess the beginning of this year, we, normally we'll do a safety forum every year. And this year it was decided, hey, we won't do a safety forum. We're going to hold the NHTSA Motorcycle Safety Program Assessment. Well, TxDOT just announced recently that, well, now they're not gonna, due to some staffing issues, they're not gonna do the assessment this year, which means we don't have either event this year. And then there will be no guarantee that these things happen next year and, according to the contract. And so, they're kind of driving the bus on that one and, a little disappointed by that decision, on my part personally. And I know, TTI is ready and willing to do the work. But so that's kind of the, start off with some, not so uplifting news this morning. Oh, I did want to, give you a historical quiz this morning about, today's date. Anybody remember? Big day? D-Day, very good. 80th anniversary. One of our own, instructors, Perk Bearden, he's actually over in Normandy this morning for that. His dad was there and wrote a book, for some of the newer people that haven't been around as long. So kind of a really interesting deal there that his father started their business. I think they're the oldest Yamaha dealer, and he runs a program there in Killeen. But he was going over to Normandy for the 80th deal for his dad's regiment deal. So very, very cool deal. His dad was one of the paratroopers there. So awesome. All right. So back to our regular scheduled program. So the 2025 Motorist Awareness and Motorcyclist Safety Education and Outreach Support is recommended for funding. So in 2025, there is scheduled to be a motorcycle safety forum, 4 quarterly TMSC meetings.
This year, we're only having 3 because that was one of the other budget cuts that started out. So this is our last one for this year, this fiscal year, which ends in
August
September.
3rd. Oh, in August or?
No, September.
Okay.
It's federal, we go to federal.
Federal, okay. Yeah, it's like TxDOT's August 3rd, but,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
So, yeah, so, but we are expecting, because it's been recommended for funding, we've already done the negotiations for the budget, that we will have both the forum and all 4 coalition meetings next year.
Okay. Any word on possibility of NHTSA evaluation? I'm sorry to put you on the spot like that, but I mean, I'm sure there's lots of people.
At this point is that it's canceled due to staffing. We'll talk, and we haven't talked yet, so.
All right.
We will let you know as soon as we know anything.
So the next 2 items, coalition chair nominations and task force chair nominations, for any of you who are out there and wanting to be more involved. Anybody wants to take over the driver's seat up here and run these meetings and get the fame and honor and glory and all the money. Feel free to submit your name and feel free to submit your name for any of the positions or where you'd like to serve. And if needed, we'll have a big runoff election, but it will be conducted in a nice professional manner, unlike all the other ones you typically see. So,
Maurice, where are you going?
I'm not going anywhere. I'll still be here, but position comes up. I mean, it's not like it's not a dictatorship where I've taken over and I have power. We're open to where other people have an opportunity, and I don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon, and I plan on being involved in motorcycling, until other things. But I don't foresee any of those. But I'm not, I may not be here tomorrow, but no day's promised. But I'll be here as long as good Lord lets me. So
it's written into the charters that it's a 2 years, serving as the chair for 2 years, but you can serve for a second term of 2 years. So there is that.
I'm aware of that, but I mean, it's everybody else has to get their opportunities as well.
Exactly.
It's like,
So
hey,
if we're
I
ready.
can do a better job than that guy. So, all right.
Mr. Chairman, can I
Yes, sir.
interrupt for a second?
Well, of course.
Will you take nominations from the floor?
Yes, we can take nominations from the floor.
Very good. I nominate Maurice Manis for the task force commander.
Oh, you want me on the task force, huh?
Yes,
You want me
sir.
to
I want you to
replace
chair the
you?
task force.
Okay, so he wants me to take his position so that he can go on to something else. So, well, there you
You're a
go.
smart man.
The musical chairs is starting, so, look at your seat. When the music stops, grab one and keep on riding along with us here, so.
If you'd like to find out more, there's information on the website under the coalition. The coalition charter and the task force charter are both in there with the information. If you're interested in finding out more, you can drop an email to me and I'll be happy to send you the information as well. We considered, and maybe y'all can kind of give us a hands up or thumbs up or something on this. Trying to think of a good way to do this, and would it be helpful if we sent out a Qualtrics survey link to all of the members to let them know? Or is that kind of, we've got, what, 200 or over people receiving our email, but we want the people that are attending the meetings regularly to be the ones that are pulling up as a chair, just not somebody that may be receiving the email to keep up with information, but aren't actively involved.
Right.
So, this is your coalition. You can help us to know how you'd like us to drive.
We should definitely at least have an announcement, on the email, but yeah, I mean, obviously you need somebody who's willing to.
To be here.
Yeah, you gotta come to the table to participate, so.
Even if it's a virtual table, you don't have.
Yeah, virtual. You don't have to be at this table. You have to come to the virtual table and be involved, so.
Red said specifically to send out emails.
Awesome. Thank you for the feedback. We truly appreciate it.
All right, Jude, speaking of the task force, we're going to turn it over to you and let you give us the latest update from your group meetings.
All right, thank you, sir. Again, real quickly, I just wanted to thank everyone for attending this meeting. It's good to see a turnout that's representative of all aspects of the motorcycling community and those stakeholders involved. The task force has been working towards some brochures to send out to dealerships to get the dealerships more involved, in the motorcycle safety process. They're certainly a major stakeholder in this issue. Dealerships want to build long-term riders for obvious reasons, and we want to try to get them as involved as possible. The brochures that you're seeing displayed now are the 3 that we worked on throughout this fiscal year, but we're looking at small minor changes to these, and I'll go through them real quickly. And we also had some additional changes that we might incorporate maybe for next fiscal year, but we'll wait and see how that happens. So the first poster that has the June Cleaver-esque figure on it, we made some minor changes on that one. So one of them was I took a course for mom rather than the course, and then superimposed the motorcycle on that. And another change was where you see who will you take it for. That font was enlarged on all 3 of these brochures, just to make that stand out a little bit more. On the second poster, I wear my helmet for them. Initially, that one was wear the helmet for them. We just added the word I to make it consistent, across all 3 of the brochures. Another change that we made was the logos were, it looks like they've been taken out, but I'm sure that they will appear somewhere on the brochures. And the QR codes are a little bit more prominent. That was another change that we made. On the last one, we wanted to make the gear that the rider was wearing stand out a little bit more. And they've made some, it looks like Photoshop changes to make that happen. Now, when I say stand out more, we certainly didn't want to include, some kind of high vis gear or something like that, because, that some riders are in favor of that. Some riders, that's just kind of a turn off. So we just made some just real small changes to the gear just to make it stand out a little bit more. That's just kind of a subliminal message so that people understand, that visibility is key when you're riding a motorcycle. And so those are the changes that we made. And like I said earlier, moving forward, there's some other real good suggestions that we took in the last meeting that we might be able to incorporate at some time in the future. But the approval process through TxDOT it takes a good bit of time to make all those approvals and make those changes. Now, the one last thing I'd like to speak to is the charter specified me being a task force leader for 2 years, and that 2 years will run after the next meeting. And so it's important that we change at least leadership and maybe some of the membership on these task force associations. That's important because we all have different ideas. Some good, maybe some not so good, but we all have different ideas. And we need to bring a change to the table periodically so that the task force keeps moving forward. You heard I recommended Maurice Manis because he's so knowledgeable about the motorcycle safety issues, given the long period of time that he's been involved. You can look at his face and tell how long he's been involved. But it's important that we have change, and so we need that. And so if you feel like you can bring something to the task force, nominate yourself as membership on this task force and make sure that we get some fresh ideas on the task force. So unless there are any questions, that concludes my presentation, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Now, I may not be around quite as long as you, because I still have a couple hairs on the side of my head and on my chin, but I'm going to add a few other things to your thing. The target here is we're reaching out to the dealerships and stuff. So one of the things we want to definitely get out today and inform people is y'all are spread out. Y'all have dealerships and shops that you work with. And we're going to be calling on you when they do finalize these, that we get these out to those places. We have Kathy and the TTI team have developed a very long list of dealerships, and they do have some target areas, but we want this to get to as many as possible. So especially wherever you're at, your local dealers and that, contact Kathy. When they do get released, you'll be able to, it'll probably go through you, right? Where they can contact you for the orders, that kind of thing, to get them out to the dealerships, correct?
And contact me now if you
Yeah.
have a dealership that you work with. Contact me now if you have dealerships that you work with, so we can be sure to include you when we contact them, and help us kind of get ahead of that. So.
Yeah. Because they were involved and had some early input on this program as well, a group of dealerships. But again, as Jude speaks, the more, the merrier. We got a lot of dealerships, a lot of different flavors out there, and everybody needs to put their hand in here and help develop this stuff to get the best program out there. So that's I just want to make sure we included that, because I know you're, when we get all this, we want it out in the dealerships and not sitting in the closet, so in the warehouse.
One other thing I might add to what Maurice just said, if you're a good friend of a sales manager or a repair facility, motorcycle repair facility manager, or just a good salesman that's been around a dealership for a while, please touch base with them and see if they're interested, and then get that information to Kathy, so we've got a doorway to get into that dealership.
It's helpful.
Yes.
Thank you.
Just finishing talking. These are some, the front covers of some materials that were.
Any other questions, comments?
For motorcycle dealerships.
Give you a few seconds if anybody has any questions or comments for Jude or task force group.
Savannah's asking, does the task force have different meeting dates?
They do. Very good question. Is that this is the full coalition. The task force meets separately to kind of get input and work on these kind of projects and other issues, and then bring that to the whole coalition meeting. So yes, that task force meets separately. There's always some work going on somewhere behind the scenes there to pull all this together. So excellent question.
Also have a couple comments from Leslie Hillhouse. She mentioned that her group works extensively with Cycle Center of Denton, as well as they have folks who are working with BMW of Plano.
Excellent. Thanks for the info. You do, are they? Okay. And I'm not sure if Shannon's doing this one. Okay. And next on the agenda, we're doing the TDLR, Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation, motorcycle and ATV operator safety presentation. Okay. Went away there for a second. Uh-oh. Don't you love it when that happens?
Yeah, no, I don't. Good morning. Hey, good morning again. Thank you for allowing TDLR to be here and to speak at your event. We look forward to attending more. I know that Ford, Michael Strawn, he used to attend these for us and speak on our behalf. But Michael Strawn has moved on to another division in a manager position with TDLR. Todd Forrester took over his position. So if you may see him pop in and out, or you may see him at other events that that deal with the motorcycle program. And then Ari, she's on here today as well. She is on the outreach team. So our division is the Education and Examination Division. And within our division, we oversee like the motorcycle program, driver education and safety schools, Nina. We work with her very closely. So Ari is on the outreach team, and then my team, we oversee like the school applications and the curriculum. Ari's team, they oversee audits. She may start speaking at these events, and she may be a point of contact or somebody that you may be hearing from in the future if you happen to contact our division. Okay, just wanted to give you guys like a little overview of what's changes at TDLR. And are you guys, you're able to see the presentation before I start moving along?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay, so just a little bit of history. For some of you, the history of TDLR is that the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation, it started in the early 20th century and it has flourished since then. TDLR regulates over 38 programs. A few of those programs are cosmetologists, barbers, AC contractors, electricians, driver education and safety, midwives, combative sports, and you guys, the motorcycle and ATV program. We've issued, or TDLR has issued over 231,000 business licenses, 688,000 licenses to individuals, conducted over 272,000 inspections, and we also have an exam component where we work with vendors so that if the licensee needs to take an exam, there have been over 101 1,000 exams taken with TDLR. The transfer of the motorcycle and ATV operator safety came due to Senate Bill 616 of the 86th Legislature regulated session. The program was transferred to TDLR from the Texas Department of Public Safety on September 1 of 2019. And so since then, we have a total of 56 motorcycle schools. That does not count the range locations. These are just the schools. We still are riding with only 2 curriculum providers, and we have a little over, or almost 300 instructors that are licensed with the program. All right, here's some instructor and instructor responsibilities. If you've ever been an instructor or a school contact or an advisory board member, contact TDLR and you have questions about your license, your instructor license, or your school license. We are functionally aligned, the agency is. What that means is that there are different divisions within the agency that take care of certain pieces of the puzzle, so to speak. So example, if you mail in an application with money, the money has to go through our finance division first. It has to get processed there, and then it gets transferred to the division that actually processes the application or oversees that part of the program. We have a licensing division. Our licensing division, they handle the instructor applications. They also handle adding the certification or endorsement to the instructor license. My team, we oversee curriculum audits, school applications, range applications, injury reports. So those would come directly to us and we would process those. My team, we are the subject matter expert over this program. So even though the program is divided, licensing and education and examination, my team, we are trained so that we can help. So if we are contacted by the industry and there's an issue with an instructor license or issue with money, we have the capabilities and the knowledge to be able to update RIMs, go into the online licensing system, update the certification within that system, communicate with our finance division to find out where that payment is. So I don't want to confuse you, even though it is broken out, we still would like for, the instructors to go through the licensing division and our schools to go through us, but we're not going to turn a customer down, because it belongs to that division. So that's what's good about being the SME. So this section is just, like I said, it's regarding instructors and instructor responsibilities. There will be fingerprints required for motorcycle instructors coming in the future. What that means is when you apply or renew a license, the instructor license will be fingerprinted. More information will be sent once this process is in place. It will come from TDLR's licensing division, and it will also be posted on the website. It'll give you all the information on how to get those fingerprints done, where to go, how to submit those back to the department. The motorcycle instructor can now renew online. So I believe June 5th of last year, the agency was going through some House Bill 1560 changes. And with those changes, we moved some of the motorcycle program and the driver education and safety program into a new online licensing system. And with that, you now have the ability to go online and renew the license. If you were not aware of that, I do suggest you take advantage of creating an account for your instructor license and going online and applying or renewing. The reason why I say that is because it does remove the snail mail process. If you mail something into the agency, it can take 3 to 5 days for us to get it. And then it can take another 7 to 10 days for finance to process the money. And then they turn over that paperwork to licensing. If you apply or renew online, you remove all of that, and then you go online and you pay for that, and then you wait for licensing to review that application online. So it is beneficial to do that. We do encourage you to renew 90 days prior to the expiration date on the license. With the instructor license, you will receive a renewal notice. And once you get that renewal notice, you can go online and you can pay the renewal fee to renew that license. We do, because of the amount or the number of programs we oversee, do not wait a day before your license expires. Try to. And it's very important because your license will not get renewed that day. It will have to, applications are processed in the order received. So the sooner that you can get that into us, then it will help not delay that process. Just some other instructor responsibilities. You guys are very quiet. The only time, honestly, I really hear from this industry is if there's a certification that was not added to the license and you're not able to report the class. And my team, we get a lot of the range applications, but for the most part, you basically run the program. But I just want to, these are just some little reminders that you need to know. It doesn't mean that the industry is not doing this. These are outlined in rule. If there's any type of change in the instructor contact information, your address, your phone number, email address, we need that information submitted to us in writing at least 15 days. The reason being is because all of our notices are sent out using this contact information. So if you don't have your information updated, you're not going to get what something important that we need to send to you. You need to maintain a valid driver's license. Act immediately and appropriately if there is somebody that is injured on a training site. There are those injury reports that you fill out and you submit to us. We do receive a lot of those, and thank you for reporting those injuries on time. You just cooperate with all department audits, and we come out, it's typically, we announce them, hey, we're going to come out, look at the site. Can you be available? And then you just want to make sure that each student that is on the motorcycle, they do have insurance. Okay, you want to be covered there. And then we have a full list. I included the link here. I know this is going to get posted on the website. So you can click on the link and it'll take you directly to this section, the rules, where you can find this whole list. Motorcycle schools and responsibilities. So when a motorcycle school submits an initial application or a renewal, the controlling person or persons that are listed on the application will undergo a background check. So what that means is a school cannot be approved. So if you send in a school application and leave that blank, you're not going to get, it won't get processed. There has to be a controlling person listed on the application. In the rules, it does define what a controlling person is. It's an individual who's a sole proprietor, a general partner partnership, a controlling person of a business or entity that is a general partner, possesses direct or indirect control of at least 25% of the voting securities of the corporation, is the president, secretary, or director, and possesses the authority to set policy. So these are clear of who a controlling person is. So let's just make sure that we have that controlling person on the application, and they must include their date of birth and the social security. Again, if any of that information is left off, which it has been, the application will not be processed and it will delay. So same with the instructor applications. You want to make sure that you are renewing 90 days before the expiration date. When the program came over from DPS, all of the motorcycle schools expired on the same date. It was August 31st of whatever, and it's valid for 2 years. With the limited amount of resources that we have and staff that we have, having all 50 something schools come in along with other programs that we oversee come in, that's not feasible. So you may have noticed when your license has been renewed, that license no longer has that 8/31 expiration date. The license dates are now being staggered. What that means is that because the school is not in an online licensing system at this time, this is a manual renewal. So the schools are responsible for going online, printing the renewal form, and getting it mailed to us at least 90 days before the expiration date on the license. We were hoping by next year, the schools will all be in a new online licensing system. And then that way it'll take out a lot of the manual processes. But for now, you do have to mail that application in. Some other responsibilities for the school is that you have to keep your license current at all times. And anytime that you have a range that is approved, just submit that application to us. There's no fee for range locations. But if you're no longer using a range or no longer using that school, please make sure to notify us. These are a couple of other motorcycle responsibilities. There's a full motorcycle school responsibilities. The full list can be found here. Again, you can click on the link and it'll take you right to that rule. Schools and instructors adding endorsements to the license. So the example of the endorsements that I'm talking about is the EP1, EP2, BRCU, those types of things. If you need to add this type of endorsement to your license, we need a copy of the completion certificate from the curriculum provider. Or I believe MSF has a website that they allow instructors and schools to use to track these certifications. Instructors have sent me screenshots of that page, and that's okay. We will accept that as well. We just need before we can add an endorsement to the license, we need proof that you are authorized to teach that endorsement. If you happen to have sent the endorsement and you still cannot report a class, you can email us directly. This link right here will take you to our web form. You can send an email, you can include the attachment, and then what we will do is research. 9 times out of 10, if it's an instructor license, the endorsement was added in the online licensing system, but it was not added in RIMS. And right now, the licensing division is working out of 2 databases. So unfortunately, sometimes those are missed, but just email us and we'll get it taken care of for you, okay? And you guys, you have seen these. These are just examples of the certificates that I'm talking about. All right, Senate Bill 478 of the 88th legislature session, sorry. So what this bill did is TEKS used to be the only vendor. It was in law that they were the only vendor that offered the instructor training course, okay? That has since been removed, and now it opened up the door so that an instructor can be approved by the curriculum provider to be an instructor training provider. So what that means, I say that a lot, sorry. So what that means is that they would go to the instructor training provider. We only have 2 in the industry right now. They get approved to be an instructor training. The instructor gets approved to be an instructor training provider, and then they get a certificate. Once they get that certificate, then they will go online. There is a transaction in the online licensing system where they can add that endorsement. There is a field within that transaction, and it is called business address. that address must be filled out if that instructor wishes to have their information displayed on the TDLR website so that motorcycle instructors can go through them to take the course. Are you following me? I can't see any hands, but I'm going to keep going. And you can ask me questions later if you want.
The whole questions.
Poll questions. Thank you very much. All right. If this instructor applies to add the instructor training provider endorsement to their instructor license, but they do not want to be displayed on the TDLR website for the public, and I've had people say this because they're out of state. They work out of state. They only come in to Texas if the provider needs them to come into Texas. So they would not fill out the business address. They can still apply for the instructor training provider endorsement, but it is not required to fill out the business address. Okay. Part of the, I'm just going to go into this really quick, this part. So part of the instructor training provider license and the information being displayed, we are currently working on the website. So if there is a motorcycle or if there is an individual who would like to obtain a motorcycle instructor license with Texas, they can email me directly. And I have a list that I'm keeping of these instructors with the instructor training provider endorsement. And I'm releasing that information manually at this time. So we're hoping to have the website up within the next week. Once it is up and running, there's going to be a notice that's going to be sent out to the industry, what to look for, where to find it. It'll include the links, all of that. Yeah, that's it. So if you don't see anything now and you're confused, or if you have instructors contacting you or students contacting you, just send them my way, okay? These are a couple of responsibilities for the instructor training provider. So you have to report by the 5th business day following the end of each course. So if you are an instructor with the instructor training provider endorsement and you are teaching these courses, you have to log in and you have to report the classes to us. You are also required to issue a certificate of completion to the students. Then when you issue the certificate to the student will turn around, attach that certificate to the motorcycle instructor license, and then they'll send that to TDLR with their money. And then the full list can be found. You can click on any one of these links and it'll take you to the rules. All right. So I just want to thank you again for allowing us to be here and to speak. These are our contact information. So if you have, I'll answer questions now, but if you have additional questions that you need help with, or something is just not getting through to the agency, just email me or call me directly, okay?
Wish I had my pen and paper with me while you were going through because I had questions that came up. Glad to hear that you're moving to put the instructor trainer endorsement publicly accessible, because I had a really hard time finding those. And this is Kathy, by the way, Shaughnessy.
Hi, Kathy.
If you don't mind sharing those with me, then I can, if people that are coming to me and asking too, I can share that with them as well, if that's okay with you.
No, yes, ma'am. And I was actually going to reach out to you because I do know that we work with you on this program anyway, as far as like reports and notices and things like that. So I definitely wanted to get that information to you because we will need your help, please.
Awesome. Another thing on the new instructors that are going through this training with the training providers, and they're going to then apply for their license through TDLR. it's been kind of confusing to me when I'm looking at what are the steps to do that. Do they have to make the account online first, or do they have to do a snail mail application first as the initial one?
No. So if this is a brand new individual who's interested in becoming a motorcycle instructor license, they go to the training provider, get the certificate from the training provider. They go to the website. They have two options. They can print the application, the instructor application off, mail that to us with their application fee and the certificate from the training provider, or they can log in to the online licensing system, create an account, and then there will be an initial motorcycle instructor transaction. And then within that transaction, they will attach a copy of the certificate that they receive from the provider.
That would expedite that process.
It would.
Over snail.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
It removes that snail mail time.
It does. It does.
Thank you for that clarification. David.
I'd like to clarify a little more if I can. David Jones, Program Director of Safety on Two Wheels, on the timeline for this. Reason I ask is I co-partnered with MRH in Houston for a rider coach prep. Graduates were in the end of May. They got their certificate from the provider, Be Crash Free. They've then gotten all of their certifications approved through MSF, and I know 5 of them will be working for me. Sent all of their information in through electronics by the 2nd of April. And so I'm just curious, what kind of timeline should we be telling our students, graduates, for this approval? Also, I'm running another course in the end of about the 1st of July. So I'm going to have another 8 to 10 graduates, rider coaches for that one. So I need to know what to tell them. Second, with that question, is I noticed that you said something, or I saw up there about each one being fingerprinted and an email will be sent out. And I've contacted all of those students and no one's received an email that they need to be fingerprinted. So can you fill me in on where a gap or connection is?
Yes. So first question, if you're talking about an initial instructor application,
Yes.
that's being submitted to the departments, I can't speak on behalf of licensing, but typically it should take anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks to process an application. If you've sent an application to the department in April and we are in June, please email me those names and I will look into that for you.
Would you give me your email address real quick, please? Or do you have it where I can get it?
Yeah, I can put it in chat.
Is that up there?
You can put it, she's gonna put it in the chat for the meeting.
We'll be able to share.
Okay.
And if you do a general contact to her, I mean, that question, it's gonna get routed to her.
Okay.
She's the
Yeah,
one.
it does.
She's the one behind the curtain there. The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, thank you. And whoever MM is, Rhett Sorge, I can never remember what that is. So in chat, you were talking about the website that MSF uses. So thank you for clarifying that name for me. Okay, your second question, you were talking about, fingerprinting.
The required fingerprinting. There's supposed to
Yes.
be an email going out. When would that go out? Because none of these people have received an email yet.
Correct. So you continue to do as you're doing. This is a new policy. As soon as licensing implements that policy, that's when notification is going to go out. This was just a, hey, this is coming at some point. Okay. Like I don't have a set date for you. It was supposed to be implemented when this bill was implemented, January 1st, but there were some delays getting a fingerprint code. So just you continue doing as you're supposed to be doing, submit your applications as you are, certificates, just once you receive that notification from us, then, these instructors know how to take action. And again, the information will be emailed. It's going to be displayed on the website as well.
Follow-up question then, if I may. So the students that are already in process now, and let's say within the next 2 weeks, which will be their 6-week time limit, I'll send you their names, they get approved.
Yes.
Then will they have to do a fingerprint post being approved?
Yeah.
And
No,
if
sir.
so, what happens?
When the new rule goes into effect.
She's shaking her head no, so let me listen to her.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. So that is not going to go into if when the notice goes out, it'll say beginning this date, any new initial and renewal applications that have been submitted by this date will now be fingerprinted. So
Yeah,
any
that's what I wanted to
applications that
clarify.
are sitting in queue prior to that launch date will not be fingerprinted at this time.
Okay. It's gonna be at your next renewal, whenever your license
yes.
comes back up.
Yep, thank you.
If you get the license, the next time you renew it, because you have a current
Yes.
license, the rule comes into effect, at your next renewal, you'll have to go get fingerprinted.
Right, yeah, I'm glad that's being initiated because as a provider, we always enjoyed the opportunity of knowing when someone came on board through DPS, they were fingerprinted and background checked, and we know we don't have any child molesters out there teaching our 15-year-olds motorcycle. And so that's been my concern as a provider since y'all took over. So I'm glad you're moving forward with that.
Thank you.
Follow up on that comment is, those of us that did do the fingerprinting and background check with DPS, did that transfer to TDLR, or are we
No.
gonna also have to go back and redo that?
Yes, ma'am. You'll have to go back and redo when this is implemented.
Okay.
And work together.
For you.
Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Shan. How are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Oh, not bad. I haven't emailed you in an hour or so not doing too bad. Hey, I had some quick questions for you. Is there a plan for TDLR to replace rims at this point? Or is that still part of the plan to come up with its Texas's own, get us away from rims?
Yes, sir. Earlier, I was talking about the online licensing system and the launch of that June 5th of last year, and how the motorcycle instructors are in that online licensing system. Right now, we are still moving the driver education and safety program into that online licensing system. We have renewed the contract for 1 more year with RIMS, and we hope to be out of RIMS by the end of that contract next year. So with that, and if, God willing, everything runs smoothly, right? There will be training sessions. We create training guides, all of the things, because we know that you guys are so used to the RIMS database. And so, we're not going to just kick you in there and not guide you and help you through the process. We're doing the same thing with our DE providers.
Perfect.
So the answer to your question is yes.
Okay. Will we be switching, or rather not switching? We did the audits with everyone's favorite ball-headed guy,
Mike Sconza. Yep.
Yeah. He's living it up, living a good life in Florida.
He sure is.
And the biggest thing is, so we did the school inspections. Is there any plan to do like quality assurance out on the ranges and with the coaches?
Ari is here. She's part of the outreach team. We have a lot of new people on that team since Mike left us and Ford left us. So my team will be sitting with them the next couple of weeks. They may contact you guys, some of you directly, just to kind of, get their feet wet, understand the motorcycle school, the range locations, and we will be picking up on the audit process again. But yes, we were wanting to go more toward a risk-based, because that's what we've done with our other programs. Driver education is one of them.
Okay. Moving right along, what timeline should we expect for the range approval process from just purely TDLR? It's all submitted to you. What timeline? so that we don't have like, well, it's been a month, maybe they're just really busy, or is it 10 days or is it an hour? What's
I
realistic?
want you, because of and I hate saying this, but I just lost a person on my team, so we're down to 2 people. If you do not hear from me, Jeff, and I know that we had some hiccups with yours, just please call and email me directly. It should only take, if you send if you send a range application, there's no money. You guys or we've set the range application up to where you're just feeding us the material, and all we do is enter it into the database. The only hiccup that I've seen is that the course, they're not accurate, they're not fully listed on the range application, or it's not listed on the RERP document. So then we have to question, like, okay, what are you approved to teach at this range location? What are you not approved? Those types of things. So if you email the range application, and if you have not heard back from me within 2 weeks, please just bug me, and I'll make sure to get it done.
Okay. With that, is there a plan? I know we got the audit coming up of the review process. That email was sent out already. Is looking at that form to better meet your needs and so we can more effectively communicate with you, is that something that's going to be on that agenda?
I mean, honestly, if we could just make this form more like electronically, but we're not there yet. We're not there until we get you guys into into an online system that is user friendly. So everything is manual. There's no fee. So there are times that somebody may mail it or email it and it's lost. And so we have no way to track it. And no, we're not trying to charge a fee. I'm just saying, like with money, we can track it in our system. So yes, I agree that that form could be looked at to be cleaned up, because we haven't looked at any of the forms since they came over. So, since we first brought the program over, created the form, and now we're moving along. So I do agree that the forms can be looked at to find ways to smooth the process.
Well, if you need a board member to do it, I know a guy.
Okay.
And I can edit
Thank you.
forms and whatnot. How do we notify TDLR of unused ranges? You mentioned that.
Just
but
shoot
what's
us
the
an
pro-
email. Yes, just send us an email. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is we have a lot of students or even your industry just contact us, and I'm trying to find this location, and all the list of ranges that's on the search tool, the map on our website. Nobody's offering any, they're closed, or this is what's going on. This is what's going on. So it would just be very useful if you just notify us, hey, this is my license number. This is my school name. I'm no longer using range location, da, 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 da. And then just send that to us, and then we'll go in and make those inactive.
Would you like us to send that through the portal?
Yeah, please.
All right. And my last question, I swear, Maurice, I know. I swear. I was
He's
making
making
notes.
up for the emails that he didn't send this week.
Yes, it is. What's the best way for us to find a list of instructor training instructors? So for the new license, it was just, you mentioned there was 2 people. So if I have a person who's interested in becoming a rider coach, how do I get them in touch with the people that are offering the training that's authorized by TDLR? Is there a public side of the website that we can face so we can send them to?
You want me to help you on this one? I'll help you on this one. So in the presentation, she mentioned that she's currently doing this manually, but they are developing the public facing aspect of that website. So it's not quite there yet, Jeff, but he was busy typing an email to you and he missed that in the presentation. So no, and again, if I misspoke, please clarify that. Go ahead, Jeff.
You are
We
on
love you
point,
both.
and Jeff, I can email those to you.
Okay, no, I was asking about the public side of it. I know how to do it. Some of my questions are rhetorical. Just how to get the information out to the public
We're working on
how to share it with somebody.
Yeah, we are yes, that site is being worked on. I'm hoping that is going to be done this last week. I am like, literally, I was working with IT before getting on this meeting and even in the middle of this meeting. They're just doing some last minute changes before it goes live. Once the search is listed, I'm gonna reach out to everybody, Kathy as well. A notice will be sent out to the public saying, hey, this is the new site. This is where you can find that list.
Perfect. Thank you. And Maurice,
Good questions.
summation. Excellent summation, sir. Thank you very much. You should continue to be president.
Any other questions?
Yeah, we have one more. David?
Well, quick question. When you mentioned something about ranges that are closing, if I sent you an email, could you give me a list of what you know that is currently closed ranges? Because we were looking at a possible expansion in our organization, and that would give us at least a target of people to start reaching out to.
So you're saying that
What I'm saying is if range X in city whatever is being closed, no one's using it, I would love to have that contact information and the range, and I may go over there and start a new location. We're a nonprofit and we're growing. And so trying to find locations that are existing, if they're already been approved, then they'll be approved again, possibly. So I need to know if they're closing, where they're at, so I can start tracking those down.
Okay, so we actually have a couple of driver education providers that are kind of like a consultant like that. Unfortunately, unfortunately, how the state is set up, you can't email me and say, I want a list. You can't email me personally or my team and say, I want a list of range locations and their addresses and their contact information so that I can contact them. But what you can do is submit an open records request. And then we run reports, but it has to filter through our general counsel first. If you would like that information, I can email that to you, the instructions on how to do that.
Yes, because I would like to know who's closing and who has closed and where these facilities are. Setting in our shoes, if anyone else is listening, trying to find real estate is almost like pulling your eye and teeth. It'll hurt, but trying to find it's the most difficult part. And so if it's already been there, it's already been approved, then it would behoove the state to help us find those to reopen them if we can.
Yeah, so typically when they email us and they say, I'm closing this location, then at that point, we go and close it. But when you submit the open records request to us, in your request, you can clearly state, hey, I just want a list of these locations that have closed, and then you can do the research from there.
All right. I'll send you that email as well.
In the chat, sir, if you have access to the chat, I did put a link to the open records policy, and there is a way that you can submit your request there and we can start working on it.
I can work with you on it, David, because I've done lots of open record requests with you.
All right, great. Yeah.
All right, any other questions?
Information in the chat will be in the recording, so of the meeting. So if anybody else wants to go back, it'll be on the recording once it's posted to the looklearnlive.org website.
Awesome.
Thank you for that wonderful presentation. I also want to applaud y'all for the efforts in the online for the instructor stuff. That is a huge step forward and helping out with getting licenses processed in a more expedient manner, and that is greatly appreciated. And we know you are moving forward and you are juggling a lot of programs, but thank you for your wonderful support of this program.
Thank you so much, sir. And we do appreciate working with you, and we appreciate your patience. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.
Matt.
Motorcycle legislation update. Matt, are you ready, sir?
Yeah, I'm good to go. So good morning, everybody. Appreciate you all's time and opportunity to chat with you all about motorcycle legislation. particularly looking towards the 89th legislative session here in Texas. That session starts on January the 14th, 2025. That's the second Tuesday in January. But I will tell you that the whole process leading up to that session, what's going to be discussed, is already on the way. So I appreciate the opportunity to chat with you all about this and let you all know how you can potentially get involved if you have issues that you would like to be involved in. How we got there, or or where we stand today, it was very much shaped by the last legislative session. The legislation around TDLR and the instructor training was very significant, I believe, to the community. So it's a great presentation. Appreciate that discussion. The other little bill that affected the community, or at least resonated quite a bit in the motorcycle community, was House Bill 4122. Which essentially clarified motorcycle lane use, and at least on social media, inspired a very passionate discussion about lane filtering and lane splitting in the state of Texas. That subject matter has been on the plate of the legislature for multiple sessions in the past. There's been various efforts around lane splitting and lane filtering that were introduced because both were not legal in the state of Texas since 1995 under Section 545.060 of the Transportation Code. And essentially 4122 clarified that language and also added some protections for motorcyclists. What 4122 also did is added specific motorcycle-related language if anybody wanted to address the subject matter looking forward. And so I know that when the bill passed, when the session ended, when it became effective, there was lots of conversations in, like I said, in the motorcycle community online. I know there was some conversations also in this group about this bill, about the implications and what could be done better. And so what I want to talk about today is a couple other states, recent developments that have happened there, and also share some opportunities for you all to become actively involved in the conversation if you choose to do so. So first of all, you may have seen Colorado pass Senate Bill 79 a few months ago, Senate Bill 79 for 2024, which is a lane filtering bill. It's a relatively standard filtering bill. You can filter with standing traffic as long as you don't move faster than 15 miles an hour. But it has two interesting aspects to that bill that I think are worth being aware of. Number one, the bill only legalizes filtering for a time period for roughly 2 years. It is the legislation is set to expire on September 1st, 2027. And at the same time, it requires the state to conduct a study of the changes of both rear-end accidents for motorcyclists as well as side swipe accidents of motorcyclists, and do a comparison before the bill was enacted and after it was enacted. That study is due by January 1st, 2027. The interesting aspect of the timing is here. September 1st, 2027 will be the time by which the next legislature in Colorado would be able to make additional legislative changes, which means this will be status quo pending any additional actions by the legislature next time. If they don't act, it goes away. If they act, obviously changes can be made. And that report, which is due on January 1st, 2027, can actually educate legislative actions of the legislature. And so it's an interesting concept of creating a time-limited filtering permission and inducing a study that then will potentially educate additional change to the legislation. If it were to continue, be modified, expanded, or whatever might be there. So if you're interested in the subject matter, you want to get involved, I do recommend taking a look at Senate Bill 79 from Colorado from 2024. Also, this is now a few weeks ago, Minnesota passed a bill. It's actually a giant bill, which is HF 5247. It's a giant finance and everything else bill. It's an omnibus bill, but it had some interesting language in there related to motorcycling as well. This bill allowed filtering as well as limited lane splitting. The way it was structured is that you can split up to a speed of 25 miles an hour as long as you're not moving faster than 15 miles an hour than traffic is going. So essentially, you can split up to traffic going up to 24 miles an hour. What is really interesting about this bill also is they played with timing quite creatively, because that section doesn't go into effect until July 1st, 2025, so a year from now. But between now and then, the bill included an education campaign on, first of all, motorcycle lane use and the potential implications of splitting, as well as updating driver's education materials to reflect these changes. So essentially, this bill preloads the knowledge base among the overall transportation community and then puts the bill into action. Like I said, it's a filtering and limited splitting bill. So if you want to take a look at that, it's HF 5247 out of Minnesota. It's a giant document. I recommend to grab a PDF of it, search, so Control F motorcycle, and it will lead you to the sections that apply to that bill. If you want to be involved in this conversation, I think those are two good ones to take a look at, to see how the conversation has evolved beyond just a traditional California style, lane splitting, lane filtering permit that or legality that currently exists. In terms of getting involved in the process, like I mentioned, the session starts on January 1st, 2025, but bill drafting and the whole discussions around bill drafting are already ongoing. I serve as legislative director at Chairman Guillen's office. I can tell you, I just got one of my draft requests back for a bill. It was number 1,732, and I had filed this thing a couple months ago. So at this point in time, probably about 2,500 bills already in the pipeline in the legislature. They're obviously not all motorcycle related, but if you want to be part of that conversation for next session, I think this is a really good time to become involved. And there's two avenues which are open to you. Between the regular sessions of the legislature, which are every 2 years and starting in January for 140 days, there's what we call the interim period. And during the interim, committees meet and discuss subject matters that they have been charged with on the House side by the Speaker of the House and on the Senate by the Lieutenant Governor. And the two transportation committees on both sides, so the House Transportation and Senate Transportation Committee, have charges that angle into the motorcycle safety conversation. On the House side, and I will share all this stuff in the chat. I'll send you all some links and the language. But on the House side, the House Transportation Committee is charged with evaluating traffic congestion. A lot of folks that are involved in the conversation about lane splitting, lane filtering are talking about congestion or relieving congestion. And so there's a great opportunity to get involved with that committee, start engaging the members and potentially testifying. They don't have a hearing set just yet. Like I said, after I'm done talking, I'll add in the chat some of the links to the committees. If you're interested in testifying, you can reach out to the chairperson of the committee, which is Chairman Canales, on the Texas House, and let them know that you would like to come in and testify on congestion if you're so inclined. And if you're so inclined and you're passionate about the subject matter, I do encourage you to get involved early in this process, and this is a great way to get involved early in the process. On the Senate side, the Transportation Committee has received a charge around autonomous vehicle safety. So while it's not directly related to lane splitting and lane filtering, there's obviously some concerns about motorcyclists on the road and autonomous vehicles. Some of you may have seen a recent study that was done that talked about the collision avoidance systems that we have in vehicles currently, and some of those systems essentially being blind towards motorcyclists. These systems is going to be educating autonomous vehicles, so there's potential extrapolation of the problem to that level as well. The Senate Transportation Committee is going to have its first meeting on September the 18th. And once again, I'll share this in the chat here shortly, but that might be an opportunity to also talk about motorcycle safety, specifically related to autonomous vehicles in this circumstance. And the chairman there is Senator Nichols. So Chairman Nichols will be the office you want to connect with. I'm going to share that with you guys shortly as well in terms of the links in the chat. Couple of things that I do want to raise if you want to be involved in this conversation. Beyond the legislature, the folks that you really want to talk to is your local law enforcement or your state law enforcement. I see a trooper in the group, so I appreciate you being there. And those are conversations that you want to get involved in with the law enforcement level. I will tell you from my experience here at the Capitol, the law enforcement groups, particularly the unions that represent the law enforcement officers, are very involved in any type of legislation that involves safety, public safety, and transportation safety. And so if you are interested in creating change in the state of Texas, you definitely want to have support of those groups. And obviously the best way to get into that, get that support is to have a dialogue at the local level. So I encourage you all doing that. Number two, and this is an effect of our times, I would say, is lots of folks when they come to the legislature here and advocate for various issues, pull examples from other states. As you know, different ways of doing things. I do recommend to keep in mind that Texas is definitely a Republican legislature. If you follow Texas politics and the recent primaries, this has become a deeper red Republican legislature. And for example, the states we just talked about, so Colorado, Minnesota, and California, which get used as a regular example, are all Democratic states. And so as you're having these conversations, my general recommendation would be to have conversations on substance rather than having conversations on politics in order to be able to move the conversation forward. And so with that, I'll close my remarks. I'll be glad to take questions. And like I promised, I will be throwing a few things in the chat here after we're done with my part.
Thank you very much. Any questions or anything for Matt before we go along?
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that information. And just like you, I encourage everybody to get involved and get some good information out there. So
yeah.
Good job.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna drop my contact information in there as well. I'm a passionate motorcyclist myself. I can tell you I'm gonna try to get our office involved in this conversation. So if you'd like to engage with me as well, you're more than welcome to. Appreciate having a conversation.
You'll probably be hearing from several people. So
awesome. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Next on the agenda, we're going to do oh, I'm sorry, what?
No, I'm just trying to see if I can make the next on the agenda work. What are we seeing on?
Yeah, it just came up. Go back. There you go. Unlicensed to ride project update. Instead of Court, we have Bristol, even better. So
That's okay. Are you able to get the PowerPoint up?
I'm trying. It's hiding. Okay.
There we
So,
go.
Can we check online? Are people online? Are we seeing?
Can you all see that? Is there anybody who can't see the?
Perfect.
All right, good. Take it away, ma'am.
All right. So trying to figure out the best way to get in the picture here. All right. My name is Crystal O'Rear. I mentioned earlier, I work here at TTI and I work on this project, Unlicensed to Ride. It is a TxDOT sponsored grant project. And the project goal is to encourage more riders to complete motorcycle safety training and to continue promoting a culture of rider safety in Texas. This project has two main proponents to it. One of which is it's a postcard project basically. So what we do is we go back through and we pull motorcycle registrations and we pull Class M license information and we dig through those and we data mine all of that and we try to match up to see if there is somebody in the state of Texas that has a regular license, like without the Class M restriction or endorsement, and they have a motorcycle registered to them. We try to figure out like where that is lacking, and then we send out information to try to encourage them to go take a course. So here's some of the information that we've had from the past. Notice the registrations dropped sizably between 2020 and 2021. That's the COVID years when we didn't have to pay for registrations. So a lot of those numbers dropped because of that. And you'll see that also, here we go. Different things like this. So one of the problems that we had from all of the numbers that we received is that there was a big slowdown because of COVID. And so some of the numbers that were originally put out were not 100% correct. But from 2020, we had 70,468 unmatched records. So that's going to be 70,468 had a regular license without a Class M, but also had a motorcycle registered to them. 2021, that was 24, and then 2022, that was 84,343. So that's quite a big number. Again,
we had a little bit of an issue because of COVID. So it slowed everything down, and that kind of also threw the numbers because we weren't able to request everything at the same time. So the data is going to be just a little bit different, but we've been working in subsequent grant years to try to get all that get it more accurate and lined out. So this is what they would receive. Notice that there is no name listed on it. That was not the intention. It was just send it to the address, simply because you don't know who there actually owns the motorcycle. There were some that, of course, go back to a business. The number of motorcycles registered ranged between 1 and 44. So to that person who had 44 motorcycles, you know, like that also helps to skew the numbers as well. But this is what they received. And here is how it turned out. So in fiscal year 21, we had 4,991 match. So that means they received their license since receiving the postcard in 2019. Fiscal year 2022, that was 3,731. And then in fiscal year 23, this is what I was saying, where we had the timeline issues because of COVID. We went back through and there was an actual 46% increase in Class M licensing when the timeline was extended. So this is more of what I'm involved in, so I have a little bit more expertise on this part. The survey part is one that I heard that there were several people on this call that are motorcycle instructors, and I need your help as far as this goes. So one of the things that we do is we offer a survey. It's a survey program. What we ask of the schools is to send out an email when somebody has registered to ask them to participate in our survey study. The application comes from the school, so that would be what you would email out to them. And then once the student completes the application, then the rest is on our end. We offer $15 for the completion of the survey before they take any part of the course, including the e-course. And then once they've completed the in-person course, we offer an after survey that's another $25. So while it's not a significant amount of money, it's still $40 that they can get back that they're already invested into taking the course. And so we do have a couple of schools that have been very religious about sending us people, and we really, really appreciate them, but our numbers are sizably down this year. And so if you are interested in helping us out with this, please let us know. Laura, actually, do you mind putting my email in the chat so they can reach out to me directly? So as of May 30th, which was when I sent this information to Kathy, we'd only received 23 applications. So in the first year that I did this, at this point, we were closer to 45, 50. The problem with the being low is obviously that we're not getting all the information that we want to get out of it. We've had 23 applications received, but 6 were not eligible. Not eligible usually means that they applied literally the day before their course, which means that they've already taken the e-course and we're just, no, I'm sorry. Another ineligible would be if they don't include proof of registration. I've had a couple of those come through, but generally it's the ones where they apply right before their course. And so there's no way that they can honestly say they haven't completed any portion of it. 17 before surveys were emailed and 11 were completed. This is another part of the issue that we have, is that people apply and they spend the time to apply, but then they don't follow through. This has been the biggest year that I've had, because we do the reports in Qualtrics. This is the biggest year that I've had of empty surveys that have been sent through. So they'll open it and then they're like, maybe not, and they close it out. So we'd had 11 completed of those, and then the way that we have it set up is we ask them when their course is, and I track that. And after their course date, we send the after survey. So of the 11 that were completed of the before surveys, by the time this was done, 8 of them had completed the course and the surveys were emailed. And then again, we only had 4 complete that. So out of 23 applications we've received, only 4 had actually followed through and finished it. And so that's the issue that I have, and why I say we really need help trying to get word out on this. We did use the Look, Learn, Live Facebook page to try to get it promoted as well. And again, as of May 30th, it had a 727 post reach with 44 engagements and 15 shares. I looked yesterday just to see, and it was at 20 shares, so that is helping to get it out some. But for the most part, like I said, we're not getting as much traction as we have in years past. And that's it for me. I saw there was a hand raised.
Jeff, let's see, anybody have a question? Anybody but Jeff? Okay, go ahead, Jeff. We'll let you go ahead.
Damn it. So I had some lengthy conversations about how this is going to be implemented, and with man, if I can remember his name, I just remember he likes to race a lot for Ride Smart.
Cody. Okay, so
yeah, Cody and I had a lot of conversations about this, and the problem we're having is that we have fought so hard to automate our booking process so that the information gets sent out to them. There's not a lot of 1-800 number calls, things like that. So we don't have a way to interject this information at the right time. I'm curious what you would think about a way to get this information disseminated as kind of a enticement to take the class, instead of like, hey, now that you're enrolled but you're in this weird part of the process, or this, that, or the other. Or is it strictly something we could send out postgraduate and say, hey, what did you think of this, that, or the other after they finish the process? That's a much more amicable way to approach trying to get this information from people in the process, to catch them in part of the process that we've worked so hard to automate. It did not work for a single person.
Right, yeah, and we understand that as well. I talked to one of the schools and they mentioned trying to add the blurb from the email into that automated. So like they were reaching out to their IT people. And I understand that that's not feasible for some of the smaller locations, and it's a lot to ask of us for that as well. But that is something that we like. It all comes down to, it's a grant funded project and we only have so much budget. So that's why we are pushing it through the Look, Learn, Live Facebook page and social medias to try to get that out to those that are not already currently registered. But other than that, like it's ultimately comes down to budget. We don't have the budget to be able to push it out any further than that. And as far as the after the course, I mean, I am not personally a motorcycle rider and I haven't taken a course, but I would think myself, I know. Shun me. But I'm just thinking that if I were going to take a course, right, I would want to take it with a friend. So if I knew of somebody that was already going to take it, then I would be enrolling with them. So I don't know if it would even be feasible to say, hey, thanks for attending this course. If you know of anybody else that would like to, here's a $40 incentive to spend $300, like I just don't know if that would be, I don't know.
Riding schools out there. The target audience for this primarily are the dirty riders. Those riding dirty. So those are the folks that's like, why do I need to spend the money? Because I've been doing it anyway. So if we kind of focus this on a intermediate course kind of deal, fill it up and maybe drop the price point so it's not the same as the beginner course, and then giving them a little bit of incentive, we might be getting more of those dirty riders to get licensed.
I agree with that.
So just
I agree with that.
my 2 cents.
Well, yeah, another thing, since she mentioned that, it's not just for new riders. So the survey program will also be, if you have your Class M and you enroll in like an intermediate course, it'll also apply to those as well, like they are eligible.
For advanced courses. Be cool.
But yeah, and even then, if you have a social media site for your riding school, like I said, we have it posted on Look, Learn, Live right now. I'm not sure what your reach is, but if you're able to share that, that would help as well, because that gives out the information for the application as well. And I believe it's also on Twitter and Instagram.
It's probably on Twitter.
Probably on Twitter. Okay. Any other questions on that?
No questions?
Bueller?
Jeff, you got another one for her, or you gotta take it easy on her, just one?
I'm still tired from Shan.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'll give you another one there, okay, all right. Well, want to thank Crystal and Cody for their work on that project. It is a very important project, and continue to do that. And for the schools out there and the instructors, if you're reaching out to a new student, share that information so that they can get the pre and the post, because that is what their project is set up on. Yes, it's nice if I understand the ease of, hey, after a class, we can get that after survey, but you know, they're wanting to see that difference and the change. So you got to look at it before and after. So
Website or?
actually,
It is a
no.
TechStop funded grant.
No.
The TechStop funded.
So it's just through them.
Just see them.
But she can probably get you some information that you can share with your members on it. And then that way, you know, that's a good way to get it out there. And, you know, the $40 off is $40. I mean, you know.
One of the
Yeah.
incentive programs and
Yeah.
I say it works.
Yes.
It really works. So I'll get with you.
Oh, and another thing that we're, like, the course has to be finished by July the 30th. Like, that's our cutoff for this grant. Yeah, that's the cutoff for this fiscal year.
Now y'all are submitting again for another year, of course, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we hope this is not the last and they continue to fund
Correct.
a good project like that.
That is very good.
So
Very good project.
cut off July 31. So you got about 60 days or less. Do my math here.
Even the summer too.
Boston, yeah.
Okay. So online, are we just seeing the Teams meeting? thing?
Yeah.
So we'll see if we can get Maurice's beautiful face up here for the next.
What?
one.
I told you, this is the radio face. Come on now. I've got the voice, but no. Okay, here. Camera here somewhere. I was gonna stand behind the podium. How's that work? No, not at all, right? This is wonderful. This is the best thing going on there. Well, good morning. Thank you all for coming, and we're gonna wrap up with some exciting stuff to close this meeting out. We're gonna recognize some people who are doing wonderful things in the Texas Motorcycle Safety Coalition world and improving things for us. First one, Texas Motorcycle Safety Difference Maker for 2024 is the TCOCNI Region 1. The TCOCNI Region 1 Safety Awareness Team has worked since 2008 to educate road users about how to share the road safely with motorcycle riders. The Region 1 team's many outreach activities include speaking at city council meetings about motorcycle safety awareness, obtaining proclamations about Motorcycle Safety Month in May from city mayors, setting up bridge banners on I-35, reminding drivers to watch out for motorcyclists, dispersing 10,000 share the road yard signs, working with cities to install permanent share the road signs, creating 12 talking points to educate road users on sharing the road safely and distributing those talking points as printed materials to local businesses, creating outreach campaigns showing how riders come from all professions and all walks of life, volunteering time and effort as part of the Motorcycle Safety Coalition. Through these efforts, TCOCNI Region 1 reaches out to thousands of people every year, raising awareness and opening up communication between motorcycle riders and other road users to improve safety and reduce crashes and injuries. And I believe accepting that is going to be Miss Whitflyer.
Thank you very much.
Come on up.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You get the corner of the table right over here. The corner? Yep.
Okay, there we go.
You want this one? Oh.
I jump over and around.
You just want me to do that, okay? You just try to make it hard. Yeah, you want me to stand on one leg and jump on one leg?
Good.
Got it, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Have any words for him?
Basically, what do I say? Actually,
Anyway.
thank you, everybody. Thank you to our motorcycle community in Region 1, TCOCNI Region 1. Without our motorcycle community clubs and independents, we couldn't do what we do. And I want to really thank the TMSC for allowing us to be members and added active members. And we look forward to many, many years together. Thank you very much. Blessings.
Thank you. Right. Texas Motorcycle Safety Champion for 2024, Dr. David Jones. Dr. David Jones launched the nonprofit public 501c3 organization dedicated to providing and promoting motorcycle safety in the state of Texas, the Safety on Two Wheels Motorcycling Link School. He offers a range of courses for entry level to advanced riders at a reduced cost due to the nonprofit structure of the organization. He sets aside funds to provide training at low cost from students who have financial need, provides financial help to offset training costs for new rider coaches in Texas, provides free motorcycle safety talks and group riding training seminars in the Houston metro area, and has established mobile training centers in areas of Texas where there's a need. The Texas Motorcycle Safety Coalition honors Dr. Jones and his associates for their work to lower barriers to motorcycle safety training and improve the skills and safety of motorcycle riders in Texas. Oh, yeah, sorry, gotta be at the corner.
I said,
Back to my corner. You know, in school, I was always put in the corner, but the nose had to be.
Get over your shoulder off the screen.
Had the nose in the nose in the wall there. There, microphone's yours.
Well, I appreciate this. I wasn't expecting it. It's been a passion to get safety out there to people, and I heard you mention the dirty riders. We are going after that as fast as we possibly can. We're even changing our format to go after the one-day course, and we're using the intermediate class to try to entice people. That's why we're looking for the ranges across the state so that we can spend the money to send trainers there if there's not one there, and start hosting classes. So anybody that has open classes, open ranges, let me know. It's part of our growth plan. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for this. Very much.
All right, so that was all the items on the agenda. And so what comes next is any other questions or comments or new items that anybody would like to add at this time before we wrap up? Jeff, Shirley, raise a hand, question, something?
Hey, are you running for chair again? Or are you just gonna let it one and done?
It's open. I know our last award winner has been very active, and so if I will serve wherever. If Doc Jones wants to take over the helm here and I move to task force, I'm I don't have an agenda. I just wherever I need to be working, I'll wherever. If I'll sit in this seat or Jude's seat or wherever. I'm going to be here somewhere. I'll let y'all decide that. But yeah, so think about it. If you're interested, email Kathy and put your name in the hat, and please come and be involved and help out and make this program better.
I think we saw a lot of new names
Good attendance, yes.
today, so we appreciate those of you that this may be your first meeting. You're so welcome. We are so glad to have you here, and encourage you to invite other new people. Trying to grow this up again and reach to more people across the state.
And don't forget to reach out to your dealers for the network and the outreach, and share that with Kathy so that we can include you and your favorite local dealers in the program to help spread the word. That's all I have. Laura, you don't have anything else? Kathy, all right.
That's everything on our end.
So
Anybody?
last chance for questions. Go enjoy lunch and have a wonderful day and ride safe.
Great meeting. Thanks, folks.
Thanks.
Very good. Thank you.
Agenda. Best meetings yet.
Yes.
Well, besides this, but.